So welcome, Lori. We're going to do a Skype today, do a little interview. I saw you before and after. I was very impressed. I wanted just to get to meet you and hear your story. So welcome to the mini interview.
Thank you. I'm delighted.
Hey, so Lori, tell me a little bit about your history. Have you had an issue with weight over your, growing up, or when did you start gaining weight? What's your story on that?
I never really had a weight problem until probably my early 40s, and I started going through menopause very early, and I had some minor weight issues, due to pregnancies and things like that, but I was always able to get back in shape pretty quickly. Um, but after I started experiencing the menopause symptoms, I really started, putting on the weight. And as we all know, your body changes drastically during that time. And it just kept getting worse and worse. And I'm quite a few years postmenopausal now, and I just kept gaining the weight, and nothing I did worked. As far as traditional advice and going low fat and things like that, exercise. And I just recently finished my undergrad degree, and during those 4 years I was very sedentary because I was working an office administration job, plus I was a full-time student, plus full-time parent, full-time wife, things like that. So I had a lot of stress going on, and I let myself go. I didn't have time to think about me. I had to produce and, just get through daily living and get through my degree. So my body and my health suffered tremendously. And after I finished my degree in December, I became aware. Of course, I was already aware, but I couldn't really have it in the forefront of my thinking because I had just had too many things going on. So after I completed school, I was ready to work on me now. And I had done some research, and I started researching because I found myself bored a couple of weeks post graduation. So I started researching some things, and I come across Dr. Denise Warden, and I had heard some comments about the ketogenic diet and how she had good results treating some folks with that. So I got thinking about it and curious, and I just started doing research and found the information from Dr. Westman. And then shortly after deciding that this is what I was going to try, I promptly started finding your videos, and I found a lot of that very helpful. But yeah, so that's where I am today.
Awesome. What did you peak out? What was your top weight that you hit? At the worst case scenario.
About 185.
Okay. And did you also have hot flashes and all that too connected
I
with
had
that?
the whole gamut.
Okay.
Insomnia, hot flashes, joint pain, mood problems, mental health issues. It was horrible. I felt horrible. I felt like I weighed 1,000 pounds. Just physically, it was hard to motivate and move. And I knew that there had to be a solution. And I was also diagnosed with high blood pressure. I've had issues for many years with the high blood pressure, but that really took, it increased and just continually got worse from the time that I was diagnosed as menopausal on through the post situation.
Interesting. So before menopause, let's say in your 30s, did you have any problem with your periods or your cycle at that point?
No, I didn't.
Okay. So everything was going fine, and then bam, you go through all these changes.
After I had my last child, which I was 31 when I had her, and then shortly after, I started having weird symptoms then. And it took several years to get it diagnosed. So,
Wow.
I was in my
Okay,
late
because what
30s.
happens is the adrenal glands basically make the same hormones as the ovaries, and if they go into menopause tired, exhausted, weak, everything is magnified. Then you start getting more cortisol adrenal symptoms, and you're like, what the heck's going on? Hot flashes. Hot flashes are basically the adrenal failing to back up the ovaries. That's all that is.
Right.
And then, so you eventually started doing the ketosis. So tell me, how much weight did you lose? What did you get into eventually, as far as your weight?
Today I am 155.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. And actually, I'm more impressed with the inches than I am the weight. The weight I'm really not, I know that's going to happen. So I'm not really focused on the weight part. At first I was. But then when I started this, the day I started was February 2nd. And that weigh-in, I was like 182. And I started at hardcore. And I lost about 10 pounds the first 2 weeks. And of course, I was aware that that was most likely water weight. So I said, okay, let's see what happens in the next following weeks. Well, then I started, it was about 1 to 2 pounds a week.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah. And that's where I've been doing for a while. Yeah. But I'd say about the last 2 to 3 weeks, I've been right at 155. So I'm figuring, I'm letting my body, the healing, catch up with all the new adjusting and all that stuff. And then I got to go back and see my doctor the 19th of July, and we can make some adjustments from there if need be.
Yeah, awesome. So did you carry any weight in the midsection at first? Is that where it hung out?
I actually looked like I was about 8 months pregnant.
Wow. And so did you notice changes in your midsection, like inches, like shrinking in your stomach?
Instantly, absolutely. Right from my upper rib cage right down through to my mid thigh. Wow. I was very heavy there. That's where I carried all that weight, and also in my upper arms and through my face and neck.
Those people that are watching and they're not familiar with ketosis or intermittent fasting, the belly is really excess insulin, but cortisol, which is adrenal, can also cause that as well, because that can convert into insulin, or increase insulin. So basically, you went on a ketogenic diet at first. Did you do any intermittent fasting at first?
No, I did not. Thanks to you, I've learned about the intermittent fasting, and that has served me very well. Actually, I just came off of a vacation, and I gained 1 pound through that vacation. And I have decided that after this weekend, because I got to get back on track for my food preps and all that kind of thing. So I'm going to do that this weekend, and then I'm going to start practicing the intermittent fasting again, get back on that schedule.
Awesome. Yeah, I had a friend who I talked to over the weekend, and he went on a cruise. And he's looking around at the pool, his kids are playing, and he's like, people are like so big on those cruises, like huge stomachs, and they're sitting around. Of course, you know what they're eating, and the alcohol and everything. And that's what motivated him. He says, that's it, I'm going to turn this around. I'm not going to look like that. But that's great that you only I guess, gained 1 pound. So question I have, give me an example of what you're eating now on your keto, like what would you eat for breakfast or lunch or whatever?
Today I haven't eaten yet, and I plan to eat probably in another hour or so. But I typically start my day off with eggs. I love your advice with the eggs, and boy, doesn't that really set me up in the evening. That is so true. And it holds me, it really satiates me. But being on the keto diet in general, my appetite has naturally decreased as far as the amount at one sitting that I can handle. So, but usually for breakfast, I will have 2 eggs with some cheese. cheddar cheese mixed in with it, and 2 to 3 slices of bacon or a couple of sausage links. And then for lunch, I try to work in my greens. If in some way, I will try to have some type of a salad, or either I will have fresh broccoli and cauliflower, things like that. I try to stay away from the snacking. With your help, I've learned how to do that, because it took me a while to get adjusted to that, and I had this obsession with fat bombs, and I think I got a little too carried away sometimes. So I've backed way down on that. So
It's so easy to eat a lot of those, isn't it? I mean, you just have one.
yeah,
I'll just take one more, and next thing you know, you're like totally. But you know what's interesting? There's two things about the fat bombs. Number one, if you're doing the intermittent fasting, you can get away with more than if you were doing just keto and eating 6 times a day. I mean, so that's going to be disastrous. And the other thing is that at first, when you start to do this and you adapt to ketosis, you're keto adapted, the amount of fat you need is a lot less because you're running on your fat cleanly. And you don't almost like before when you start out, you need something to get you to the next meal. But after a while, hunger goes down, cravings goes down, appetite goes down. So you're actually running off your own fat, which is perfect.
right. And that's what I've just recently discovered in listening to some of your webinars and your YouTube videos, and that had never occurred to me before. But boy, what a difference that does make! It really does.
Has your cravings gone down?
Yes, tremendously. I don't have any cravings really. That I may have a twinge, but it's not necessarily an internal craving. It's more of a psychological craving.
Good point. Good point. Yeah, because it's like, I don't need that, but I'm sure it looks really good. I mean, your desire for that sensation is not going to go away, but you're just not going to have it, So.
And the longer I have been on this diet, the easier it is to not even have to think about saying no. It's almost automatic now. And so has my cooking, because I'm originally from Virginia, and I'm very Southern in my culture and in my eating traditions, and I have really had to relearn how to cook and prepare meals, and I have tons of recipes that I've just tried just to see what I like and what I don't like, and I haven't found too many things that I don't like that are keto, and now it's becoming very natural and intuitive to me to create a meal on my own without having to plan so far ahead.
Right. So when you're doing intermittent fasting, were you doing just 2 meals a day?
Yes. Yeah. And I have even done 1 meal a day.
I mean, number one, you're going to save money, less preparation, you got more time on your hands, but that's the problem, is keeping yourself busy, because it's like, wow, sitting around and everyone's like, they have food on the table and other stuff, so just keeping busy so you don't have to focus on it. So have you noticed any change in your cognitive function or mood or anything with your energy?
Unbelievably so. I am best way I can describe it is miraculous. Really. I didn't know how bad I felt till I started feeling better. And then I just keep feeling better, and I just keep feeling better. Now, granted, we have a not so good day every now and again, just because, life happens or whatever, but it's nothing that just continuously goes on and on and on, and that I have to struggle to get past. It's my energy level is incredible. My cognition and my focus is very swift. And I have no problems focusing. I don't have to struggle with that anymore.
Wow, that is so awesome. So do you, now that you know how it went and how you feel, do you ever think you ever go back to your old pattern of eating?
Absolutely not, ever. And I'm so impressed with this. I just in such awe over the changes that have happened in reasonably short period of time. I mean, I've only been doing this since February, and it's now June. So just in this short period of time, the improvements that I have seen, I don't ever want to be a carnivore again, ever. There's no need for that because I'm not willing to trade my health for that. And I have a lot of plans moving forward, and I want to feel good doing it. I have 2 grandchildren, and I have a lot of plans. So I just want to, have longevity and feel good while I'm doing it.
So awesome.
And my family has even been so impressed that they have joined in, my husband and my daughter. My husband has even lost about 20 pounds. And he has a lot higher carb intake than I do. I practice the 20 grams per day, and he may go up to maybe 50. But he's a big guy. He's, 6'2", and I think he's about 210 pounds now, and he was about 230, 40 when he joined in with me. And then he's, talked about his improvements as well. And then my youngest daughter, who's still at home with us, she practices with the dinners and being conscious of her carb intake. But she's very active and very athletic, so she can handle a little bit more. And, she doesn't have to watch it as close as I do. But we are all just thrilled to have this to be part of our life. And I am so impressed with it that I want to incorporate nutrition education into my master's degree, which I'm going to be going into. And my education background is in mental health and human services, and I was planning to go into a master's program for social work. However, I'm rethinking that. And for the last 2 weeks, I'm reconsidering trying to incorporate a nutrition program into a counseling program.
I love it.
So try to combine.
I really think that is an area that is needed. Like, people just are sick of the drug, the pill for the whole psych problems. I mean, honestly, a lot of it is nutrition and diet. If they were to put on this program, it would be miraculous. But of course, they wouldn't make a lot of money on it, but still, people would feel a lot better.
Right. And I'm a very holistic person. That has always been my approach on most things. And I'm like that 3-year-old who is constantly asking why. I can't stop asking why. And because of that, I've come across this way of living, which is miraculous. It truly is. And I want to share it with everybody I care about. And, I want to help people. But I also understand not everybody wants the help. But I have the knowledge if they want it.
Totally. I'm the same way. I'm like, hey, if you want help, great. If you don't, then go for whatever you're doing. Let me know when you're ready, because, they have to be self-determined, and that's fine. Eventually,
Yeah.
Laura, this has been incredible. I think it's going to give a lot of people hope, because you're a great success. Before and after pictures are amazing. So I want to thank you for sharing, and we'll touch base and maybe do another one later just to see how you're doing, like in maybe several months from now.
I would love that. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you and all you do. It's been wonderful. You're a great support and great encouragement.
My pleasure. Well, thanks, and have a great afternoon.
You as well.
Okay, see ya.